Everything changed on December 1st, 2021. I remember it like it was yesterday. Video Game Donkey went triple platinum on this one, and instantly a trend was born. It's like Vlogmas, but better because it's about Donkey Kong instead of what you made for breakfast. Every December since, people have been making DK videos, but what if I told you Donkey Kong December goes even deeper? Much like the fractone-looking background elements in Donkey Kong Country 3, perhaps Donkey Kong December has been here all along, just under the surface. This is the Donkey Kong December Iceberg. We'll explore every instance of Kong-themed holiday cheer that I could find. Our story begins in 1995. Rare has wrapped on a bunch of games including Killer Instinct, Donkey Kong Land, and one of their magnum opus contenders in Donkey Kong Country 2. It hit Japan on November 21st, but it released in the West in December. One could say it was the first Donkey Kong December. In any case, Rare had a holiday card that year, and in it, you can see some familiar faces. Diddy Kong is looking festive here, sporting a Santa cap. Dixie is next to him with Radley hanging out with the Killer Instinct characters. Look at the way he's peeking out of Santa's sack of presents. We have a clamp on, and just like the Christmas truce of 1914, there'll be no fighting during Donkey Kong December. I haven't played Killer Instinct, so I'm gonna guess this woman's name is Judy, and this is Raging Carl. Rare followed with another sequel in Donkey Kong Country 3 the year after. This one released in Europe during their Donkey Kong December, with the North American and Japanese versions hitting a few weeks earlier. And just like the year before, we have a Christmas card. This one is solely focused on the Kongs, despite Rare putting out some other bangers this year like Killer Instinct 2, Donkey Kong Land 2, and Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. Sorry, Ken Griffey Jr. Maybe you'll make it onto another Christmas card. This one was well preserved online, giving us a much more detailed look at the Kongs trying to decorate a Christmas tree. Just like 2/3 of his games, Donkey Kong is nowhere to be found in his own series. I think it is neat though. This is one of those pictures that you feel like you can hear, as it looks like they repurposed work done from the snow world of DKC3 to be the backdrop here. Now that's neat, but what if I told you DKC3 has even more Donkey Kong December energy? Well, the file select screen holds a few secrets that you can activate by typing in the right code. Me and all my homies back in the day would write AAA or poop, but depending on what word you put in the file, you'd be rewarded. You can do a bunch of neat stuff like grant yourself extra lives or change the color palette of the Kongs. But if you enter Mary as the code, you'll bring a little Christmas cheer into the Northern Hemisphere. At first, it's business as usual, but jump into one of those bonus barrels, and you'll see the effect of the code. Instead of the bombastic bonus time music, we're greeted with a Christmas jingle. Any bananas you would normally collect are replaced with ornaments or presents. This track evokes the childlike wonder of the Christmas season, and I'm not saying that because I'm nostalgic about it. I did not know this existed until I started making this video. Seriously, what a cool new thing to discover about a game you've been playing on and off for decades. This is the type of stuff we just make up on the playground, like my school buddy who said he had Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Batman on his copy of Melee and he'd bring it into class and show me one day. 1 year after DKC3, we have Diddy Kong Racing hit store shelves around that same late November window that had served them well in the past. Rare's Christmas card for this year is pretty simple and straightforward, with Diddy and Taj the Elephant Genie sharing the spotlight. It's a simple but nice render with the two characters ice skating in Snowflake Mountain. Diddy forgot his Santa hat last year, but it's back for this render. This is where the Kong streak dead ends for the Rare Christmas cards. Apparently there was some game about a bear trying to protect his figgy pudding from a skeleton that took Rare's attention off the apes. It seemed Nintendo would have to pick up the slack. Someone on Reddit found the 1998 Nintendo of America card, with our beloved baboons pictured above the mantle. This picture is a wild time capsule. We got the usual suspects like Pokemon, but Banjo's hanging out with Mario, which would be pretty short-lived in retrospect. We got young Link exchanging gifts with vintage Black Mamba before he switched his jersey to number 24. Ken Griffey Jr. is here, which feels like a full circle moment considering Rare brought his game to the Super Nintendo. You will never see all of these real people and characters in the same picture again. You just had to be there. The last Christmas card I could dig up coincides with the release of Donkey Kong 64. We got the whole crew stacking up to become the Christmas tree in this one. Truly incredible. The double Rare logo is a bit on the nose, but we'll forgive that because this would be the last time Rare would put any Kongs on holiday cards. The Eye of Sauron turned to Rare, and a new era was born. One that was quite Kongless besides the GBA ports. Moving from the UK to Canada, we all know the Donkey Kong TV show. I'm more fond of the first season and its original animated style, but the second season had a Christmas episode in it. Buckle in. It's gonna get weird. Episode 27 features the Congo Bongo Festival of Lights. The episode opens with Cranky educating DK and Diddy about the festival. It's the one day of the year where there's a truce between the Kremlings and the Kongs. Okay, I was just joking earlier, but is this a spin on the truce of 1914 for real? This show is nuts. We then check in with the Crocs to find all of them leaving the cave for the holiday. Everyone except for Clump. He sits in the cave alone, busting out a ballad about his lack of family. Clump walked so Bowser could run. Anyway, we flip over to Scurvy stealing the crystal coconut, and he steals Donkey Kong's presents too because
There be more?
Then with less than 10 minutes of runtime left in the episode, we find out that all along Scurvy has been the long-lost older brother of Clump. Now this is big, so I'm gonna break it down for you. When they were young, Clump accidentally burned his family's house down. Scurvy took the blame for the incident and was run out of town. He carried that burden with him and became a scum-sucking salty sea dog. It's truly a tragic backstory and a reminder that sometimes the most noble of intentions can lead us down the wrong path. Absolute cinema. If you don't speak French, you might think that was the only bit of Christmas cheer in the show, but there was a whole other planet of DK TV in France. Planet Donkey Kong functioned as a programming block, similar to something like Toonami if you grew up here in the US. They aired shows, but in between, they would feature some of the strangest bits of animated television I've ever witnessed. I don't even know where to begin. That'll need to be a video for another day, but I did want to point out the Christmas bits of the program here. We open on a baby Diddy Kong awaiting Santa. We also have a Diddy Kong simultaneously in the father role. He's wearing underpants for some reason. His wife is also Candy Kong. Donkey Kong is playing the role of Santa here. He's crashing down into the chimney, and it seems like no matter what version of the show we're looking at, Candy is always on his case. We have another skit with reindeer, except they don't have a model for reindeer, so they went with the most sensible option. Put antlers on top of Kremlings. They're lounging and making fun of Donkey Kong skiing, but Santa Donkey Kong crashes the party to assign them to a new activity. We fade into a new scene as Santa Kong mounts their heads to the wall of his cabin, as one does. Now you might be seeing all this Donkey Kong flavored Christmas cheer, and you're wondering, how can you bring some of it to your home? Hallmark has you covered with some Donkey Kong ornaments. I mean, some of them are just molds that they use for Jack-specific figures, but there's apparently a keepsake line that has some really neat stuff. I like this 8-bit DK. I have a similar one in the set, but he's holding a barrel here. A standout from 2021 is DK in a cart. I'm loving the detail that I'm seeing here, and the wheels actually work so it can double as a toy. They have this other one that's an arcade cabinet. It's cool enough on its own, but you can pop some batteries in and have it play some jingles from the game that started it all. Okay, this is actually impressive. Saving the best for last though, we have DK and Diddy dressed in Christmas attire, shilling for the Game Boy in 1996. Donkey Kong Land 1 and 2 were out at this point, keeping the Game Boy hype alive before Pokemon would hit the scene 2 years later. It's definitely of another era. I feel like nowadays branding and licensing is so particular. Most of the poses are the same ones that you see in renders, which robs them of feeling like Christmas. Look at the Zelda one for this year. This is fine and all, but it doesn't feel like Christmas. Just swap the color palette and give him a Santa hat. He's basically dressed up like Santa in the first place. Put some antlers on Epona. If we can put antlers on Kremlings, we can surely put antlers on a horse. Nintendo, Jax, or Hallmark gotta get out of their comfort zone here. Pokemon did a cool one last year. We got along with my son's order, and there's little Fuecoco enjoying some hot cocoa. Oh, you see what they did there? They leaned into it. They could at least do something winter themed from their games. Give me an ornament of that DK render where he's trying to eat a frozen banana. Perhaps the coolest thing about this Donkey Kong December trend is all the content that has come downstream of it. Donkey's catchy hit stirred something in content creators. He joked in the video that he was going to make a Donkey Kong video every day of the month, and Pierre from Designing 4 took that as a challenge. He organized a full month of Donkey Kong December videos, banding together with a squad of other creators to get the job done. Donkey would even jump back into the holiday spirit with his own set of videos, breaking down a good chunk of the mainline releases. 2022 was a wild year for Donkey content. In 2024, Super Joe Bros would do the challenge, posting videos every day specifically about DK64. Nintendo themselves jumped onto the trend in 2024. They debuted Donkey Kong Country in Japan on December 11th, and a year after, they gave us a Donkey Kong theme for the Nintendo Today app. In which month of the year? That's right, Donkey Kong December. Coincidence? No way. I mean, maybe, but no way. It's only a matter of time before it becomes a federally recognized holiday. From all of us at the Kong Compendium, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.